Hi everyone and welcome to another episode. Today I'd like to talk about 5 signs that it is time for you to quit your job. But before we jump into it, let me know where you're joining us from and if this is your first time watching anything that has to do with me. Before we jump in, let's take 3 deep breaths. You take in your breath at the count of 3 and then you release it through your mouth. Hold and release through your mouth. Take a deep breath into your belly and release into your mouth, through your mouth. Take a deep breath through your nose and release through your mouth. I love doing that exercise because it just helps me to get into my body. And it also helps to recalibrate the 2 sides of your brain. So very important when you feel like you're a little bit edgy, when you feel like you're a little bit stressed, when you feel like you need to feel centered, when you feel like something is off. I always recommend take deep breaths in. You can take 3, you can do a set of 3 or a set of 7, depending on what works for you really. So today I want to talk about 5 signs that it is time for you to quit your job. And I made a few notes here on my iPad, so that's why I'll be looking away from the camera. So here I said, when do you feel it is time, or how can you know when it is time for you to actually move on in terms of your job or your position, your career? And this is a very important question because I think some of us, we overstay in positions that no longer the highest expression of who we are, as I would say. So 5 signs. Sometimes we don't know when it's time for us to go, and it can even be confusing where to go and how to make that decision, especially when you've got like commitments, life commitments, and things like that. So number 1, I personally think it is time for you to think about changing your job when you no longer feel joy and fulfillment from what you do. When you start feeling like the everyday thing that you do at your work is kind of dragging, is heavy on you, you don't feel the joy and fulfillment, then I think it's time for you to evolve, I would say. Secondly, when you no longer feel you can grow in this particular job or company, when you don't feel like the current position you are in doesn't support your growth, right? Or whether it's the company or whether it's the position, if it doesn't support your growth, then I think it's time for you to evolve from that position. Number 3, when there is a nagging feeling that you want more, when something within you is telling you want more, you deserve more, whether in terms of a pay, whether in terms of responsibilities, whether in terms of privileges and benefits, whether in terms of accolades and recognition and things like that, when something within you feels like, oh, I desire more, I deserve more, and I want more, then it's time for you to go to the next level. And number 4, when you are dissatisfied and you pick on every little thing that you didn't before. So now you've been working at a certain position, and at first everything was actually, you're so happy doing whatever you're doing and everything was going well, and even if something didn't go well, you just overlooked it, everything was okay. But then after some time, you start feeling like dissatisfaction and they start picking on any little thing that you wouldn't pick on before. Maybe this have happened before in the past and you didn't feel like it was, you just kind of brushed it off or overlooked it, but now you can't overlook it anymore because it's actually disturbing you and you're dissatisfied with where you are right now. That it's time for you to make the next move. And finally, on my thoughts here, I wrote, when you dream about doing something else, even if you are not clear what it is, yes, when deep down within you, you feel like, oh my God, I want to do something else. And then a part of you just says, but I don't know what that is. Even when you don't know what the next thing is, but you know that what you're doing right now is not it. You're dreaming of doing something different, something else, that I think it's time for you to quit your job, right? And I'm going to shoot another video on how to find your next opportunity, or I would say how to know your next your soul opportunity. How do you align with your soul so that you find the right job for you at the next level? Thank you guys for watching. and I hope to connect with you again soon. Let me comment below, have you ever felt dissatisfied, or have you ever felt yourself in a position where you know that what you're doing currently in your job, you don't want to do it anymore, but you don't know what the next step is going to be? How did you handle it? Let me know in the comments below. I love you guys. Take care. Bye for now.